You're listening to Every Day's a Saturday USMC Veteran Podcast.
Now introducing your host of Every Day's a Saturday USMC Veteran, the one-man show, Brian Roof.
What's going on, friends and family? Thank you guys so much for tuning in to another great day, another great interview. I am super excited for this one. This dude is a badass and a Marine and a singer-songwriter, just doing amazing things out there for our country still. So let's go ahead and meet our next guest, Sal Gonzalez. What's up, brother?
Guys? How's it going? Thanks for having me.
Hell yeah, man. Absolutely, brother. I'm ecstatic to have you on. Let's go ahead and tell everybody all about Sal Gonzalez. Let's get to know you, man. Where you grew up, why you chose to go in the Marine Corps. Let's get to know about your Marine Corps career a little bit, and then what you got going on now.
Yeah, man. So I was born and raised in East LA. My parents are immigrants. They met here. They fell in love. They had me. They got married. Kind of wish those last two were turned around. It is what it is. But my dad was like a bass player growing up, and he played in bands, and then he had a little band that he would put together for special occasions, for like weddings and quinceañeras and stuff like that for the family. And he put one together for my aunt for her wedding when I was like 4. And my favorite movie in the world at the time was La Bamba.
Oh yeah, bro.
Because what Mexican kid from East LA doesn't love Richie Valens? That story is just amazing. Yeah. And my dad let me on stage, and he let me sing La Bamba with him. So.
Oh yeah, dude.
I still in my sleep could play that song just because my dad.
Bro, I'd have you play me that all day long, dude. Man, I grew up loving that. So even as a white boy out here, man, I loved fucking La Bamba.
Well, if you grow up in Southern California, it's hard not to fall in love with Mexican culture. And
yeah.
Mexicans are such like an open people. If you're cool with us, we're cool with you. We'll let you in, and we'll invite you to the carne asada. We'll bring you in. You know what I mean? You're just there's plenty of white dudes. That
dude. The fiestas. Yeah. Man, in Southern California, that's how it is, though, bro. You know, it definitely is way more like that.
So that's kind of where it all started. My dad, when I started singing in like choir when I was in grade school, back when all the kids used to call me gay because I was the only one who wasn't doing kickball or whatever. And then
some handball, bro.
Hey, I was in there singing. I just love singing. What can I say? And it also helped that all the girls were also in the class with me. So I was like, who's gay?
You knew what you were doing.
Moving on. I ended up singing in choir and stuff all the way through junior high and high school. And then when I got to high school, I started playing in bands. At like 12 or 13, I picked up the guitar, and just slowly but surely your circle of musician friends grows, and you're like, hey, let's put a band together. You play bass, you play drums. I can play rhythm guitar. You're really good. You play lead guitar, and I'll sing. All right, cool. And then you start playing stuff, and I was doing that, and that was kind of what I was going to do for the foreseeable future. Like, that's all I ever wanted to do was playing bands and try and make a living doing that. And then 9/11 happened when I was in high school, and I really love this country. My parents instilled the love of this country, not because they were like, super hardcore, God-fearing American people or whatever, but they let us know the difference. And the difference in where we lived compared to where they came from, and all of the benefits and all of the rights that we had that they didn't have when they were growing up. So all of a sudden, this country that had given me and my family so much was under attack, and I was like, "Hey, dog, I can't have that. I gotta go. I gotta go do my part." I mean, even Elvis served. So
You're right.
if the king served, I gotta go too. I'm just a pleb. I'm nobody. I gotta go if I want to be anybody. I gotta go do my part. And so
You know what, bro? Just to stop you real quick is that's one thing you could respect about the immigrants from the past. A lot of them, bro, had just the love and appreciation of being here, you know? And I mean, obviously your parents instilled that into you where I mean, I don't even know if people understand, like, you literally decided you wanted to join after we got attacked, right? I mean,
yeah,
there's a lot of people that aren't willing to go sign up after we get attacked. So, that's, pretty unique, and I just wanted to say that real quick, but go ahead,
yeah.
man.
I mean, technically, it's less than 1% of people that serve in our military, and it's a wild statistic, but it's great because with that less than 1%, we don't have to have a draft.
Right, exactly. Yep.
And
We
all you
stop
got to do is study a little bit of history and figure out how that works out for a country and how that worked out for ours and how those veterans were treated when they got home. I think it all kind of
100%.
correlates.
Yep.
Um, moving on. So I joined the Marine Corps. I wanted to be either an armor, either somebody that like fixes guns and gives them to the dudes that are going out and using them, or actually the dude using the guns. And I became a machine gunner in the Marine Corps Infantry. I was with Second Battalion, Fifth Marines. I went through the School of Infantry there at Camp Pendleton, and then I was stationed actually not far from where they train SOI, the School of Infantry, right there on John Basilone Road in Camp Pendleton, California. If you go just like 2 or 3 miles up the road, there's a part of the base called San Mateo, and that's where Second Battalion, Fifth Marines is, and that's where I spent most of my time in the Marine Corps. Well, I say in the Marine Corps. I was there 6 months. Half of that time was spent in Palm Springs doing training, and the other
Oh,
half was spent at
the
ranges.
stumps. Yeah.
Yep. And then we deployed the summer of '04, and it was September 1st. We were in country, and October 31st is the day I got injured. So 2 months in, I got blown up
Shit.
7 times while I was there.
Gosh, damn, bro.
Six of those times, they like popped a tire, scratched my paint, shit like that. Gave me a bit of a knocking around in the brain, but basically we walked away from six of them, and that seventh one was it was a shape charge, and it's basically a type of armor penetration thing that turns your own armor into shrapnel.
Oh, sheesh.
And they buried it in this flower bed. And as we drove around the flower bed, it went boom. And it hit my buddy Kenny. It hit me in the leg. And then it hit my lieutenant. And unfortunately, my lieutenant was killed. His name was Matthew
Mm.
Lynch. He was from Long Island, New York. Awesome dude. 6'2, 6'3, 250, just would take you to hell and bring you back alive. Like, awesome dude. Um, but yeah, we got hit that day, and I woke up inside the Humvee, which was new, and I like did what I could because what they were doing was they would create casualties. They would hit, disable a vehicle, and then as we were trying to figure that stuff out, either get wounded out or just get stuff fixed so that we could move on, they would attack again to create more casualties. And being a good machine gunner, I reached back up and I tried to get back up to my gun to try and create some sort of security, and my left leg was not moving. It was not doing what I wanted it to do. and I looked down and it started bending in a weird way. And I was like,
Mm.
that doesn't normally do that.
Mm.
I'm gonna lay back down and chill out for a second and do what Marines do best, and that's let Doc take care of us, let the Navy do their job.
Yeah. Dock up.
Yeah, Doc Culata pulled me out of the Humvee and got to work on me, stabilized me, popped me full of morphine. He got Kenny out, stabilized him. He got the lieutenant out. I think by the time I think he got to the lieutenant first, and there was not much he could do for him.
Mm.
Uh, and then he moved on to us. And I think in order of casualty, Kenny was worse off than me because he got hurt basically head to toe. He got peppered with shrapnel. Mine was only my leg, so
Oh my
in
gosh,
order
man.
of casualty, I was least affected. And I was, so they finally got to me. They got me out to a field hospital, and I fell asleep on their operating table. I woke up and I'm in a hospital room with my family around me, my mom and my dad and my siblings and stuff, and I'm like, "How are you guys doing in Iraq?" And they're like, "No, no, no, you're in Maryland. You've been in a coma for a week. Both of your
Wow.
lungs collapsed. You almost died a few times. Your legs in shambles, but you're alive, and you're gonna we're gonna make it through this." And I was like, "Okay." So, and that's when I met the Wounded Warrior Project because they were in my literally they were the it was my parents. The Marine liaison walked in, and the Marine liaison is just there to be like your liaison to the Marine Corps and the Marine Corps' liaison to you. So basically, they're there to explain to you what's going to happen next, um, how your orders are going to work out, where you're going to be sent after the whatever surgical procedures you're having, and all the different things. They're there to be on your side because you're in a big naval facility, right? Being cared for by the Navy. So after them was a dude wearing a polo with the Wounded Warrior Project logo on it. And he gave me a backpack. And he goes, "Hey, man, on behalf of a grateful nation, we'd like you to have this. We're going to be around giving out backpacks to guys and girls as they come in. So if you ever need anything, anything at all, if you just want to get out of the hospital and go to the mall or something, we'll get your mom. We'll take our personal vehicles. We'll figure it out. We'll get you out of the hospital for a few hours." And I was like, awesome, because I was naked. I had a gown that didn't close all the way in the back, and there was nothing that was mine. All your stuff gets cut off you because they don't want to put any infection in your wounds or anything. So you end up in like this sterile hospital room being poked and prodded by strangers, and having a t-shirt which was in the backpack and underwear and shorts, having socks which now last me twice as long with my fun prosthetic leg, um it meant a lot. They call them comfort items, but they do a whole lot fucking more than comfort, I can tell you that much. And from that point on, they were there basically every step of the way. The My mom stayed with me there. My siblings and everybody went home. My mom hung out with me for a few months, and then, or for like a month and a half. Then she would trade places with my sister so that she could go back to work. And for 3 months, we fought to save my left leg, and we ended up amputated my left leg below the knee um, in January of '05 because I got hurt October 31st of 2004. So happy Halloween.
Wow.
And they sent me home. And then I stayed at home for like a month and a half, just letting my leg heal, letting my stump and my wounds heal, and getting used to just being an amputee and all that. And then I got orders for San Antonio, Texas. And I went to San Antonio, Texas, and I got a prosthetic leg. and I learned how to walk and run and do all the normal things again, which sounds a lot more impressive than it is. I can tell you that much. I still have my knee. It was really easy for me to get up and walk again. I mean, they gave me my leg and they said don't wear it for like longer than 3 or 4 hours at a time because you're gonna get sores and it'll make it so you can't wear your leg. And I'm like, okay, cool. And I didn't take it off for like a day and a half. I was so tired of being on crutches or in a wheelchair. So I learned how to two step that weekend. Like I went to a Cowboys dance saloon and just I got kicked out for underage drinking. I was just dancing with pretty girls. Um, and then I started getting calls from Wounded Warrior Project again and other organizations, not just Wounded Warrior Project, but the ones I remember are the Wounded Warrior Project ones specifically because they always taught us something. Like we did this one trip to Colorado where they taught us how to rock climb and how to whitewater raft. And I was like, there's not a lot of rock climbing in East LA, first of all.
Right.
So I wasn't really sure about the whole prospect of climbing rocks in the first place, but especially after losing a leg, I was like, hey, you guys aren't just trying to play a trick on me, right? They're like, no, I promise. And I learned how to whitewater raft for the first time after I lost a leg. I learned how to rock climb for the first time after I lost a leg. Uh, I was up until that point, I wasn't sure that I was going to be able to do all the things that I wanted to do in life. Like I knew I could walk around, I knew that I could run. I didn't like running when I had two legs, so I wasn't going to start running when I was missing
Yeah.
one. So,
Right.
so but I figured I like martial arts. I was in judo and stuff as a kid, and I figured all of that would kind of go away, and that music would be my only bastion of things that I could do still as quote unquote disabled person. And those trips taught me that I wasn't disabled. I was just differently abled. I could figure it out if I put my mind to it. And now I learned how to fight from a dude at a mixed martial arts gym in Nashville, and I help teach his class. And on occasion, I go in and help train the kids to strangle creepers. It's one of my favorite things to do.
That's
Um,
outstanding, man.
I'm a blue belt in Brazilian Jiu Jitsu. Like I do a lot of stuff, and as a quote unquote disabled person, and none, none of that would be possible without those people would have Warrior
You
Project.
do more than some able people do, bro. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, dang,
Yeah.
you're out there still doing it, bro. I mean, that didn't stop you, dude. I mean,
Well,
gosh damn, you could have.
look, it very easily could have,
Right.
and there's other people that maybe it did, and I can tell you that
Sure.
there's two choices when you are put through an extreme life event,
Sure.
regardless of war or whatever.
Yeah.
If you become,
Trauma. Just trauma.
yeah, if you become traumatized in some way, shape, or form, you really have two choices. You could turn to your sorrow and your misery and go cry in a corner for the rest of your life, and nobody would blame you. Or you can just try and live it. And
Make
maybe,
the best.
just maybe, you'll make a difference in someone else's life.
Mm.
And I knew that at the very least I was gonna be able to play music again. So I could at least do that. I could at least play good still. I still had my hands. I could still sing fairly decently. Um, Cigarettes didn't help, but it is what it is. That's 3 packs a day in Iraq, baby.
Yeah, hey, yeah, I know about that life, bro. That's the Newport too.
Oh, dude.
uh,
You and all my comms guys.
bro, we start getting
All
into
my,
the Newports, dude. Supply Bubba's. Them the guys
yeah,
introduced me to the
supply,
Newports.
yeah, supply, and for some reason, all of our radio operators, so all of our comms
The
guys,
comms, dude, yeah.
they all they were all Newport dudes. I don't know why. We had this dude named Big Bird, and he was a big, tall, hawk nosed um, Irish kid. I don't know. He could have been Scandinavian. I don't know, but he was like red haired almost,
Yeah.
and that dude just chain smoked these Newport cigarettes, and I never
They're harsh too,
I
man.
could
Dang.
never get into the menthol.
Menthol.
I ended up getting into the menthol, like the Marlboro menthol, for
Yeah.
like maybe 2 or 3 months, and then I was like, all right, I gotta, I'm
Yeah,
done.
my boy turned me on to the Marble menthols eventually. I said, man,
Well,
screw this
I gotta
Newports. Try
put
these
my
out.
logo towards the camera.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. Look at that. Ah.
Yeah, well, it's I had a friend of mine who's an artist make my logo for me, which is a goat, and it's kind of hard to see with
Yeah,
the
dude,
hard
I
drive,
like
but
it.
it's my
Hell yeah.
it's my logo now. It's like a alebrije of a goat, which is if you've ever watched what's that movie, the Disney movie with the music, not Encanto, but the one before that, the one with the Mexican kid. Anyway, the
Oh.
animals in the afterlife are all
Yeah,
really
the
colorful in that movie, and that was like the inspiration for the coloring and the design behind the goat. And
I
the
love
goat
it.
is sort of a thing in my life. My family owns a restaurant where we only served goat for a very, very long time. It was only very recently that we put beef on the menu.
Oh, no shit. Nice.
Yeah, and so it's a restaurant in East LA called Birreria de Don Boni. You can go check it out. And
I'm gonna have to. I'm out here.
oh yeah, East LA. Just go down there. It's awesome. It's the best. Um, I grew up scrubbing tables there, and it's still one of my favorite places to go eat when I'm there. So I'll maybe come meet me for lunch one day when I'm out there in California in May.
Oh, dude, I would love to. Yeah, that'd be
Uh,
badass.
where am I? So I after that trip, I went through the motions. I got out of the Marine Corps. I retired in 2005, at the end of 2005, or like it was Christmas time 05. I retired. I think my official date is like the 23rd of that year when I was officially retired from the Marine Corps. And I moved home, and home wasn't home anymore, man. Home was a different place. Um, I had hypervigilance from when I grew up. 'Cause, if you grow up in a rough place, if you grow up in a place with a lot of violence and a lot of danger, you grow up watching your back. You grow up with eyes on the back of your head. You grow up looking
Under,
behind your friend when you're having a conversation instead of looking them in the face. It's just
yeah,
a weird thing that you grew up with.
right.
And when I came home, that same thing was 10x because
Because PTSD.
not only was it the hypervigilance, but on top of
Yeah,
that, I was like fucking alleyways and rooftops. And you know how many alleyways and rooftops are in East LA, California, son?
yeah, bro.
So it was just constant anxiety. And I didn't realize, I didn't have words. I didn't know what PTSD was. I
Nah,
didn't know
yeah.
what
Still early
suicide.
around that time, dude. When they weren't really identifying it. 2005 for sure. Because I got
Uh,
up 2004.
bro,
Yeah.
I've had a classmate or friend die from the time that I was in the fourth or fifth grade until the time I graduated high school.
Mm.
Either a classmate or a close friend. Let that sink in. what the fuck are you gonna talk to me about post-traumatic stress, dog?
Yeah.
So I like I've been living with a lot of trauma my whole life, and all of a sudden the experience of war was again tenfold, because it
Mhm.
wasn't just a classmate, it was my homie, it was a close friend. 10 of my friends were killed in action in that campaign that we spent in 2004 2005.
And
And
those sounds, bro, I don't care where you're at. You can't mimic those sounds that you heard over there.
yeah, it's
Mm.
life is different, life was
Right.
different.
Yeah.
And one of the homies that I met in the hospital, his name's Ryan. He's missing an arm. He's my brother from another mother. Together we make a full person. Um, he called me up and he goes, "Hey man, there's this thing in Nashville called CMA Fest. I know you like country music because I got into it in high school, and then slowly but surely, you know, you get in the Marine Corps, you serve with dudes from everywhere, and all of a sudden you know who Garth Brooks is, and you know, you just I fell in love.
Yeah.
It's basically the same thing as like my mom's corrido music
Right,
and
bro.
stuff
You just
from
have
the
appreciation for music, you know?
I do, and I
Yeah.
love
Right.
storytelling. I love storytelling in music. That's like my jam. That's what I live for. I want you to tell me a story in your music. Don't just make me happy, or don't just make me want to dance. I want to hear a story.
Right. Yeah, for
And
sure.
country music is that's what it's about, man. Three chords and the truth. Like that's what country music is all about, and that's
Three
what
chords and the
my
truth.
mother's music was about. That's what all the music that I grew up listening to, loving, was about, was just stories and pain and giving that off to the world. And I really fell in love with country music, man. And in the hospital, even more so. I was in Texas. Who doesn't love country music in Texas? I mean, spend enough time in Texas, you're gonna love some George Strait. I'll tell you what. And Pat Green and all the other guys, Casey Donahue band. Don't you Texas weirdos come at me. I know my Texas guys. The Wilder Blues, my homies. Okay, leave me alone. Anyway,
Shit. Gotta set that shit straight real quick.
yeah. And so I was like, yeah, let's go. I'll come out to Nashville for CMA Fest. And I fell in love with this city, man. It was a big city with a small town feel. Cause like one, you know, you could be in Nashville proper and be in the big city, go to bars and do the whole like downtown touristy sort of thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Or you can go drink at a bar with dudes that are welders and who work in factories and who don't care about anything other than having a good time that night and maybe singing some karaoke. And the difference in that is amazing. The difference in that, in just being around real people, normal people, and not like, I don't know, I don't even know how to explain it. It was like I could go be around that country music where everybody's trying to be somebody sort of a thing, and then I could just go and be around normal people who are just trying to live life. And that was peaceful for me. And being a part of that was important to me, and slowing my life down was kind of important to me. And I moved out here. I moved out here to Nashville, and I've been here ever since. I mean, I play music. Uh, Along the way, I got hired on with Wounded Warrior Project. I kind of lost touch. I drank a lot. I self medicated probably more than I should have. A lot more than I should have. Let's be honest. I'm a Marine, and I
Well,
have a
we
pretty
thought it was healthy to drink at one point in time, bro.
yeah. I mean, come on, couple glasses of wine.
Heals
Uh,
everything.
yeah, for me it was like you know a fifth of Jim Beam so that I could go to sleep,
Right.
and it was that for a while, man. And a little secret about folks in the entertainment industry, people that play like want to be in front of crowds or want to be actors and stuff. We don't have high opinions of ourselves. And I don't know if it's because,
I've kind of caught that being around a few musicians.
yeah, I don't know if it's because the way we grew up and we weren't hugged enough or whatever. I feel like I was hugged enough, but apparently not, because I can't do I'm good at two things, dog. I'm good at
Ah,
shooting
come
machine
here, man.
guns
Come here,
and
man.
playing music. You know what I mean? Like, those are the
Come
two
on,
things.
bro. Come on in.
Uh, but I digress. I what were we just talking about?
You just as a musician, you start
Oh,
doubting
MC.
yourself,
Oh,
and
so like I hated myself. So even more so with the survivor's guilt, right? Because I had friends that died. My lieutenant Matt, he was like 24 or something when he passed. So
yeah,
when I
he was.
hit,
It was he a butter bar lieutenant or
no, he was
second
a
lieutenant?
yeah, he was a second lieutenant.
Yeah.
Actually, I think he might have been getting ready to pick up captain, but he wanted to deploy with us, so he ended up staying on
Gosh,
rather than picking
so
up the
young,
boy.
man. Damn, dude.
Yeah. He
Mm.
was a stud, man. He was hot shit, and we were lucky to have him. Uh, I've met his family since. They're wonderful people. I'm not gonna talk about them all that much, but they know I love them, and I talk about them. I talk about Matt, their son, all the time. So I just hope I do him justice by trying to help his memory live on a little bit. Not that I need to do anything. He was a stud again. He's got a whole. He went to Duke University, and they named the pool after him because he was
Oh
such
man.
a
Well,
he
you know
was
what, bro? We got to say his name as many times as we can. You know what I
yeah.
mean? He deserves it, bro.
Yeah, so if you go to
Yeah.
Duke and you've been by the pool, just know that that dude was my homie. He was my friend.
Oh, wow.
Anyway, and so I didn't want to better myself. I didn't want to get better. I mean, there was nothing to get better from, right? Like I was this is the way I deserve to live.
Hmm.
And then I got a call from Wounded Warrior Project again, and they go, "Hey man, do you want to go on this thing called Soldier Ride?" And I'd said no to a lot of these trips after I got out of the Marine Corps because I didn't want to be the dude that was like the military dude that was the one-legged dude that sang the one-legged do songs, and like I just didn't want to be that guy that was looked
Hmm.
at a certain way.
Right.
But because this organization was there for me literally from the get-go, like the day I woke up from my coma, they were there. I said yes. I was like, yeah, let's go. Come on. Now I get to see some people that I knew already. Why not? So I went on this thing called Soldier Ride, and I was on a bicycle, and we rode for like 30 or 40 miles a day for 3 days straight from Little Rock, Arkansas, all the way through into Tennessee. And it was side by side with 40 other vets, some of them Marines, some of them Navy, some of them Air Force, some of them Army, all going through the same things I was going through, all missing arms, all missing legs, or brain injury, something wrong with them. And they were all doing the same shit I was doing. And they didn't have the awesome excuse of trying to be a rock star. So what are rock stars known for? It's a perfect excuse to just drink your life away. Is I'm trying to be a rock star.
Drugs, sex, and
And
rock and roll, bro.
exactly. But all of a sudden I'm hanging out with my friends and they're just normal people and they're living like I'm living, and I saw something wrong with that. And I remember saying on that trip, like, if the roles were reversed and our friends that passed away in combat were here today with our injuries and living our lives, what would we want for them? And I thought, I would want them to live like the best life they possibly could. Not just not just survive, not just get hammered every day, not just do nothing, not just whatever. live life to the fullest, whatever that means to you. If your dream is to just get married and have a kid and work at a factory and that's your life, and you want to retire and that's how you want to live life and that's your perfect life, God bless you. That's what you want. I want that life for you. Go out there and get it and do it. And me and a few guys on that trip, on that soldier ride, we started calling each other every week and just talking to each other. It was like peer support. We were, which is a program at Wounded Warrior Project too that you can do. Um, you just call each other and they're like, "Hey, I want to get better. Do you want to get better? Because maybe we can get better together. Because we're both not doing it well by ourselves."
Oh, well, yeah.
And
Buddy program.
yeah, man, you call each other, you keep each other accountable. You say, "Hey,
Absolutely.
I drank this week, but it was only like a case of beer instead of whatever." And you slowly but surely it goes down and
I
down and
didn't
down.
drink the vodka this
Yeah,
time.
and I don't get drunk anymore. I have a drink before I go on stage, maybe two. And on special occasions, if it's like Christmas evening or New Year's evening, I'll have one or two, but then I'm done. I don't the minute I start feeling any sort of buzz, I just stop. It's the rule now. And it's because not only do I love myself enough to do that, but I love my friends enough to keep myself accountable that way. And I don't know, maybe one day I'll have to stop drinking altogether. Who knows? But I know that some people they don't uh, drink at all. But I've been through a lot of therapy and I've done a lot of stuff and I feel like I'm in an okay spot at the moment where there's nothing a hold of me as far as substances.
Right. Nah. I mean, and that's a hard thing too, bro. Like it is hard for a lot of us because for one, when you're in drinking is kind of part of the when you Marines, that's what we do. We train, we go out, we drink, we have a good time with each other. And at least in our units, man, we would. I mean, and fools would be at PT, just seeing smoke coming off of them because they've been drinking all night, and they could go kill out the PT no problem, come back and do it again. But I
Yep.
mean, and then
Stepping
we
out of
get out,
formation. Stepping
and then
out of
we get
formation.
out. Yeah, we get out of the Marine Corps, go back home, and you find yourself drinking, and you're like, you used to do it with a whole bunch of people. Now you're starting to do it by yourself, and it's kind of a whole thing. I think a lot of us go through a iteration of being disconnected, finding our way.
Well,
But you
we
seem to like, I
slowly
mean,
we slowly build walls around ourselves
right,
because it's hard for us to empathize with other human beings because how could they understand the extremity of the things we've been through? I there was one time we had to clean chunks of flesh out of a truck
mm,
where we were literally picking pieces of my buddy out of a truck because we had to use that truck again later that day.
yeah, right,
You start just to live with yourself in that sort of a reality, you start cracking the wildest jokes. And
I
so,
don't think a lot of people understand. Yeah, there's actually a little bit of humor because you have to.
oh,
You,
you have to. Yeah, you
or
have to laugh.
otherwise you will go crazy. And part of the humor might be that you're already crazy.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you have to laugh because if you didn't laugh, you would
100.
cry, and we're too
No.
manly to cry. The
Yeah.
Marine
Right.
Corps
While
is
you're in, there's no. Yeah.
there's yeah, and I cry a lot now. I'm a giant,
Yeah,
giant
bro. Yeah.
pansy these days, especially with my kids. Oh, show
The
me an
kids
18
are what do
wheeler,
it.
I'll give you some waterworks.
Yeah.
But yeah, we end up building these walls. You start drinking. Let's say when I first got home, I would go out drinking with like my buddies and my friends,
Right. High school friends or something.
and we'd all be drinking and having a good time, and it started out where it was a huge group of friends. They all were super happy that I was home, and we'd
Yeah.
slowly break into small groups. And I'd say some weird shit about a baby dying and laugh about it. And that circle of
Mm.
friends started to get smaller and smaller because they didn't find that stuff funny. And rather than bring other people pain with my humor, I just rather drink alone and laugh to myself. And that kind of is what it turns into, I think. And the culture of drinking is just huge. It is what we do. Um,
Bro, it's kind of crazy the way you just talked about that whole thing, because that kind of was the same thing for me. Came back, uh, thought, like, hey, let me go start hanging out with my friends, my buddies who never experienced, anything that I experienced, and then thinking, that they understand, right?
yep.
Like what I'm talking about, or even the mixed emotions that I went through hanging out with them, right? Because things like if you're getting drunk and some triggered something, emotions are raw and you're just talking and they're just like looking at you like this fool's lost his shit,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
then that's when we start to like push away more, right? Because we're just like now we're really feeling that loneliness because we just kind of made ourselves look like a fool for a second and no one got it.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you feel like a monster. You're like, oh fuck, I'm laughing at some wild shit. You start
Right.
realizing, and you're
Yeah.
like, maybe I shouldn't be around civilized people. And it's
Yeah.
just easier to not feel awkward.
Yeah,
So,
man, because that's the other thing. We do get each other out there, right? And that's the hard part. And we're used to that kind of joking and going
this is
from that culture, and then you get into civilian culture. It just you learn real quick, bro. Like,
if you're really
oh, you
unlucky, you
shouldn't have
end up in
said. You can't say that.
corporate culture where you can't be. I mean, you got to be politically correct on top of
Yes,
not being weirdly offensively fun, finding weirdly
bro.
offensive things funny. Yeah,
Yeah,
I can't even imagine. I'm so
because
lucky. I might be the luckiest man on the planet, dude. Like if you're lucky as a vet, you have two or three friends that you grew up with that either have been through some shit in life that they find that stuff funny
get it.
and they get it. Like I have three or four friends from high school they're my friends till the day I die. They come to visit me. I go to visit them. We hang out. We have whenever we're around each other, we hang out. If you're even luckier, you have a small group of friends like that are vets that have been through similar things. Like I found with my Friends of Wounded Warrior project, and then my friend Stephen Cochran here in town, who we talked about earlier. He started this thing called the hashtag Stop 22 tour, where it was just a bunch of vets getting together playing music. Because there's a lot of us who play music, but
Yeah,
there wasn't like a place that was like special. Hey, you're a vet, you have stage time here, and so he created that, and I helped him. I was one of the first dudes that like went to show up because we were friends before he started it. So he was like, "I'm doing this thing, come and play." I was like, "Done." So I showed up, and that thing has turned into it's in multiple states now. We've got them going on in Michigan, down in Florida. We've got them here in Tennessee. I know there's been a couple in Colorado, and it's like it's turned into this whole thing that is just like vets helping vets,
yeah.
and it's again, I'm the luckiest man alive, man. I happen to have this skill set of playing music and writing songs that allowed me to stay sane in my darkest of times because I could just put my pain down on paper, um, and that would help me with shit. You know what I mean? Cochran and we were writing one morning, and he goes, I showed up. It's like 9 a.m. and he opens the door and he's got a bottle of vodka and a gallon of orange juice. And he looks at me. This is the song "Whiskey on the Ground,"
Yeah, this
and
is what
he
I want to
goes,
listen to, if we can.
"Yeah,
Uh,
yeah."
you
And
want to?
he goes, "Hey man, do you want a screwdriver?" And I said, "Sure." And he let us know that a friend of ours had committed suicide recently, and we were like, "Oh shit!" So that day was dedicated to our friend, um, our many friends, because it was just that was the latest of many, and we ended up writing this song. Me, my buddy Stephen Cochran, who's also a Marine vet, and Daniel Dean, who is another Marine vet songwriter. So check this out.
Yeah, let's check it out, man. Love the song.
Sitting here half drunk, and my gums are numb. Just two of the vices I had. Between the cocaine and whiskey, they both have been strangers asleep on the bed. The hot sun cuts through the window as I reach for my prayer to smoke. If you live the hell that I've been through, then you try to hide from it too. So I'm chasing demons one shot at a time. 'Cause when I'm cold sober, they live in my mind. Showing me things that I don't want to see. Taking places I don't want to be. Next time I'm sober, I'll be 6 foot down. Even then, it won't be over. Pour some whiskey on the ground. Whiskey on the ground. When I came home, they said I needed help. The pills and the alcohol don't mix too well. So I chased the people who loved me away. No hesitation to self-medicate. The PhD, man, it don't mean a thing. You held a rifle out there next to me. So I'm chasing demons one shot at a time. 'Cause when I'm cold sober, they live in my mind. Showing me things that I don't want to see. Taking me places I don't want to be. Next time I'm sober, I'll be 6 foot down. Even then, it won't be over. Pour some whiskey on the ground. Whiskey on the ground. So I'm chasing demons one shot at a time. 'Cause when I'm cold sober, they live in my mind. Showing me things that I don't want to see. Still taking places I don't want to be. Next time I'm sober, I'll be 6 foot down. Even then, it won't be over. Pour some whiskey on the ground. Whiskey on the ground. Pour some whiskey on the ground. So yeah, so we wrote that, and
Beautiful song, bro. It is a beautiful
thank you.
song. And check out his website, salgmusic.com. Make
Yeah,
sure you guys
yeah,
go check that out.
it's a
And
work in progress. That's just hit me up on social media. You can find all my music on Spotify, on iTunes, everywhere music is sold. You can look up my song or my EP Heroes. And I'm also going to be releasing new music in May because I'm debuting at the Grand Ole Opry in May.
wow,
And
bro, that's
I'll be
amazing.
so I want to release some new music to commemorate the occasion.
Do it,
Yeah, man.
man. You, dude, uh, your music is amazing, bro. And I love, you know, something about a lot of veteran musicians that I found is you guys are storytellers with your music still, right? Like, and I know in a lot of ways it's therapy for you guys, and not only for you guys, but other people that listen to it. And and I know not all of you guys dedicate your music solely just off to veterans and stuff like that, but um, nevertheless, a lot of your guys' music is still kind of like what I appreciate about music is the story part of it, versus
Yeah.
nowadays you got these songs with a nice, crazy, cool beat, and then they got like two sentence lyrics that are just hooked. You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
that's it.
I think there's a place for that sort of popular music
Sure.
because people need to dance, people need to feel
Yeah. Oh
good.
yeah.
That sounds
Absolutely.
cool.
Right.
But for me, and it sounds like for you, and a lot of people out there, I want to hear story, man. I want to hear your pain. I want to hear your pleasure. I want to know why you're so happy, not
Sure.
just that you're happy. Um, I mean, even when you get into like the rap and you start talking about uh like the hip hop stuff, the my favorite hip hop is storytelling music.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah, I love. That's one thing about me. I think I'm a mixed. I don't think I kind of gravitate towards one. Like you said, it's kind of like that how you feeling type of thing. I've always found music to be therapeutic for me. Like if I want to go upbeat, I'll listen to some EDM and be out there, and fist pumping and all that good stuff. And I'll go out there and listen to some Beethoven, or just something with some beautiful sound to it. I just appreciate music, and I know there's an art form to it, right? Because I've tried to pick up a guitar, bro, and I love playing, but dude, it ain't just picking the damn thing up and playing it, bro.
No,
Like
it
some of
is.
you guys make it look entirely too easy.
Well,
Um,
yeah, that's because I have been playing a guitar since I was 12 years old, and I'm in my late 30s.
yeah, my buddy
So
Mauricio self-taught himself on the guitar from a young age, and the dude could like almost like listen to something and just play. I was like, "Damn, you what? Where did you
yeah,
get that from, bro?" I
give me a
don't know,
few
man.
minutes, I can figure it out. Give me a few,
Yeah,
like
that's
I'm not a
amazing.
virtuoso. There's dudes that can just hear it and play it. I can't do that. I gotta like sit with it and like
Mess
work it
around
out.
and tune it in, yeah.
But give me an hour with any song, and I'll tell you how it's played.
But see,
So
that's amazing. Yeah,
but that just comes with years and years and years
right.
and years and years of effort because it's the only thing that that I ever showed any aptitude towards.
And
You
so
know what
would
I
you
mean?
say with your music, it's just a lot about repetition and because for
Yeah,
people out there that want to play
even
music
singing.
is, because I know for me, bro, if I couldn't get it in like three strums, I was done. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and
Well,
that's I was
you
giving
start
up on myself, right?
for me.
Like,
For me, I started singing because I loved singing, and then I because I sang enough, I was eventually pretty good at it,
yeah,
and so the choir helped me hone those skills, and then I was like, well, I don't I don't just want to sing choir for the rest of my life. I want to play in bands, and my least favorite bands are the bands with the lead singer that does only singing. So I at least want to be able to play an
an
instrument, whether
instrument
that be
and beat,
a
yes,
bass or guitar or whatever.
right,
And
right.
I decided guitar was probably my best bet just because I could play rhythm and sing. And the guitar was hard. The guitar the early part, it's just toughening your fingers to be able to do a chord
Yeah. Yeah.
and switch in between, and the muscle memory of where stuff is just takes a while. It just takes years of practice, and then songwriting takes even longer because then you run into theory. Everybody starts out the same way. They start out as like Weird Al Yankovic, right? They take a chord progression from a song that they love, and they make their own lyrics, and they change the way it's sung a little bit, and they make it their own
Right.
song. It's like
Sure.
their thing. Um, that's how everybody starts. That's how I know. That's how I started. I was like, well, I know that this song, this chord, and this chord sounds good after it, and maybe this chord after that. Okay, well, that's every song ever written, dummy. Like, of course, you could play those three chords and play a dozen songs from all throughout time, from Beethoven onward, and so the real trick is just to do it. Just do it often. The things you do are gonna suck. They're gonna suck. They're gonna suck for a long time. They're not gonna be good. You're gonna hate everything you do. And the funny secret is I still don't like everything I do. I'm just to the point where I'm liking some of the stuff that I do. I've hated most of the things I've put out and done.
And it seems like the more you hate something, the more everybody likes it, though. You're like, damn, that was bad. And then you're like,
Well,
dude,
no,
I thought that was gonna suck.
I've written some real turds. I know. Yeah,
He's like, I
I've
just
written
be
some
real with
very
it.
real turds. I'm just being honest, bro. I've written some turds. Nobody would call those songs gems, but but now I'm to a point where every now and again I write a pretty decent song.
Yeah.
And for instance, I've had this line for a long time in my head as a songwriter. I've wanted to write that I had one foot on the bar stool and the other in the grave.
Hmm.
This is just a great line, right? Like, I'm missing a leg. It's just perfect. And my favorite comedian, his name's, I always call him Uncle Joey Diaz. Uncle Joey always says, "I got one foot in the grave and the other on a banana peel. So let's take a chance." And I was like, I love that line. And I got one foot on the bar stool, the other in the grave. There's a beautiful line too. Maybe I can work that into a song. And I ended up writing it. Same with Stephen Cochran, and a buddy of mine named Tyler J. Um, Tyler J wrote the EAS song. I
Mm.
don't know if you ever heard that back in like
That
2008. It went pretty viral in the Marine Corps at the time. And he so much so that he got like in trouble officially from the Marine Corps. They like NJP'd him
uh,
because
the NJP'd him. He got
yeah,
the
it's a
nuts.
great song. It's a great you got to hear it. You'll kind of understand
I
why.
probably did hear it. I got to probably go back
Everybody
and
go check out the
refresh.
EAS songs. He could use the views. It's got a ton of views, but just the more people know about this dude,
It's
the
on
better.
YouTube.
It's everywhere. You can find it everywhere. It's the EAS song by Tyler J. And he's got another album out where he's got songs that we wrote together on that album, and he's got a song called "The
Tyler
Circuit."
Satterfield.
Yeah, Tyler Satterfield, Tyler J. He goes
Here it
by
is,
Tyler J
bro.
now. So if you
Here,
look up his,
let's hear it. Let's see if I could. Yes, I have definitely seen this one.
yeah,
In my Humvee, searching vehicles in Iraqis, staying in Iraq, watching One Tree Hill. So I'm never gonna get a confirmed kill. Reporting contact, even if we don't get it, just so we can get our combat action ribbon. It's a fucked up arrangement. Our PPE prevents proper engagement. To know I have 7 or 17, it really doesn't matter. I'm OFP. The war's ready, so let's go home. I can't wait to go and leave so I can get stoned. Post 2 is post 1, give me a radio check. Post 1, this is 3, 2's asleep again. Post 3 is post 1, I got a mission for you. Send a runner out to wake up post 2. Post 3, command, how do you read? Sorry, post 1, this is the COC. Post 1, who is your SOG? Maybe he can tell me while his Marines are sleeping. It's a fucked up arrangement. Our PPE prevents proper engagement. To know I have 7 or 17, it really doesn't matter. I'm OFP. The war's ready, so let's go home. I can't wait to go on leave so I can get stoned.
my favorite part's coming up.
second and first, what the fuck is
I love
that?
he has
Y'all
a big old thing of dip,
mind
too.
a different act.
Yep.
Certain platoons, what they say, but you know the niggas always got the sharpest skates. And M-O-M-O, I got PTSD. Sick and tired of hearing my staff starting to scream, but I would rather run over an IED than ever have to hear the BC speak to me. It's a fucked up arrangement, shit back with a bad reputation.
This is my favorite part.
16s and 203s, 50 cals and Mark 19s, 240 Gs and past 13s, RCOs and MREs. We got PCIs and PCCs and MPGs and NJPs and HPIs and APDs and POAs and PFCs and LAR and EOD and QRF and MSC and MCO and SMG and POBs and PSPs and EOF and BFP and OTH and RBGs and EDL and 90s and
Acronyms.
COCs and LAC. Of all, we got just one left. It's the most important one. It's the EAS song. It's hey, y'all know I'm just a Lance Crew. And I hate everybody in the COC. First Sergeant, he would never give me a chance. That's why I'm getting out as a terminal lance. Singing EAS, baby, you can't stop time. Uncle Sam's getting his, so I'm gonna get mine. USMC, you can suck my cock. I can't wait to be another homeboy back on the block, yeah.
Yeah.
Fucked up arrangement. Our PPE
So
fits
that
proper engagement.
is Tyler J. You should
Oh my
get him
gosh,
on the
dude.
podcast.
That
He's great.
is great, bro.
He's
I
a-
mean, I do
he's-
remember
he's
that
a
song, and now I know why he got the NJP.
Yeah, he's a wonderfully talented songwriter.
What's that dude up to now, man? You gotta send him my way. Tell him to get on the show, bro. Shoot, what's
Yeah,
that
he
guy
plays
doing?
music. Yeah, I'll get you in touch. He plays music now. He does a lot of stuff. He's a good dude.
Yeah,
He's
cool,
like
man.
a professional sound guy too. He's got he's got a
Gosh.
side gig where all he does is like professional quality sound for artists. So whenever
Yeah.
you go see a Tyler J show, his sound is wonderful. He plays a
Beautiful.
lot in Chattanooga. So yeah, you can hit
Okay.
him up. I'll connect you guys. Tyler's great, and him. Apparently, I'm the only guy he writes songs with. I didn't know this. See, in Nashville, this town is like built on co-writing. You write with
Right,
each other.
okay.
And that's you kind of build friendships and relationships, and you end up like in small little cliques of people that you write together with because you write best with each other. It's not like high school where it's like clicky because we don't like those other people. It's like we gel best, we work best together, sort of cliques. And Tyler doesn't write with other people. It's not something he does. And so I asked him to write, and he immediately said yes. I never knew that. He was always like, yeah, let's write, let's do it. So I thought he was doing that with everybody. Turns out it's only me. And I think he just felt sorry because I'm missing a leg. But
hey, take whatever you can take, man.
Hey, brother, I love that dude. So
That's awesome.
We've written a couple songs. We wrote a song called Shadow of Death that's on both of our albums. It's on his album and my album. We do it differently. Let's just say differently.
Right.
And then we ended up writing this song together, and it's quickly becoming my favorite song because it's just great, man. I love the song. I love the way it turned out. Me, Tyler, and Cochran all wrote it together, and it's just awesome. I don't have it recorded yet, so I'm just
3 Marines. Oh, it's got to be great.
It's all my best songs, baby, written by Marines only.
Yes.
I drink too much. Beam helps with sleep. That nightmare's been keeping me up since I was 19. I pop enough pills to get right. They ease the pain in my leg and quiet my mind. 'Cause I've got one foot on the bar stool and the other hand a grave. I've been through. It ain't hard to act this way. And maybe someday I'll quit drinking and finally break this family curse. 'Cause the devil's got our number. I pray Jesus calls me first. I had that gun and a baby to feed, and I swore off breaking the law, but I got laid off last week. I came to my senses and I drove on back home, and I held the woman I love while feeling alone. 'Cause I got one foot on the bar stool and the other hand the grave. When you sing the things I've been through, it ain't hard to act this way. Maybe someday I'll quit drinking and finally break this family curse. 'Cause the devil's got our number. I pray Jesus calls me first. It feels like I'm crawling to nothing these days. Might not find salvation, just a reason to change. For my baby girl's sake. 'Cause I've got one foot on the bar stool and the other in the grave. When you sing the shit I've been through, it ain't hard to act this way. Maybe someday we'll quit drinking and finally break this family curse. 'Cause the devil's got our number. I pray Jesus calls you first. 'Cause the devil's got my number. Let's pray Jesus calls me first.
Wow, bro. Wow. I mean, dude, gosh damn, bro. That is amazing song. And your voice, dude. I swear to God, man. It's amazing. Do you go do a vocal coach and all that stuff? Or you just got that natural?
Oh, I just been doing it forever, man. And I got a lot of vocal coaching when I was a kid in choir and stuff. So there's a lot of like
You know how to use it. Yeah.
fundamentals of singing that I learned really early on that has, permeated their way through the rest of my life. I had this in junior high. I had this choir teacher, and I was really, again, we're talking about luck. So lucky, this lady, she just happened to take over the choir class that year, the year that I was joining choir, and she took it over from some old white lady. No offense to the white lady, but Miss Johnson was an African American lady who was our PE teacher, and she could have been 80 or 20. I have no idea. but she was definitely older. She was like in her 40s for sure, and she could just sing her butt off, man. And she knew everything about how to sing, how to use your diaphragm, how to use your voice, how to harmonize with people, and how to stay in your lane and do your part, and then on top of that how to solo and be the center of attention. And there's a lot of like stuff that I learned in choir from Miss Johnson that I'll always be like super 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 grateful for. That lady, I love her. She's the best. I don't even know if she's still around. I think she quit teaching a while ago, but she was, I owe her a lot.
So have you released that song yet, bro?
No, I just recorded it. Like literally the other day, I was in the studio laying it down. So I'm just recording it.
You played it on Facebook or somewhere though, or something. I feel like
Yes,
yeah.
I debuted a lot of my stuff early on my Instagram, on my TikTok.
So if you ever
And
want a sneak peek,
yeah, exactly. Follow me on Instagram. Follow
yeah,
me on
man.
TikTok.
You
Follow
know, I'm
me on
not gonna,
Facebook.
lie. I was stalking you a little bit, bro. I know you had some issues flying and stuff. You know.
Yeah. Delta. I always have problems with Delta, but it is what it is.
Yeah,
Sometimes you gotta fly with airlines you don't normally fly with, and it's always just a little bit of a headache, even if the flight's perfect. So,
bro. That
um,
song is fixing to be a hit, dude. I
thank
mean, my gosh, bro.
you, brother.
I that one to me, man. I just could have stopped smiling down here. It just, I mean, your voice, the lyrics of it too, bro. It's just it's a crazy song, and you know you wanted to use your one leg in, and you found a perfect song for it, bro.
I
I
think
mean,
we did. I think we did a good job with it, man.
my gosh,
The
bro,
trick as a
you
songwriter.
guys might think about writing a couple more songs. You know what I
Oh,
mean? You three.
we try and keep us apart. I mean, those dudes have collectively written half of my repertoire. um, but it's kind of the trick as a songwriter is you come up with these figures of speech, these things that would go good in a song, and the real trick is being able to write a good song around those little sayings, even if they're not the main takeaway of the song, right? The main
Right.
takeaway of the song is
Yeah.
I pray Jesus calls me first. But which
Sure.
I think even the song is going to be titled Jesus called, I pray Jesus calls me first or whatever. Jesus called me first or calls me first. We'll figure it out in whenever. But yeah, it all started because I wanted one foot on the bar stool and the other in the grave. Hell, hey, shout out Uncle Joey. Shout out Joey Diaz, comedian. Tag him.
He gave you that little idea, man, and you sure made that go full circle. I mean, that's the beauty of the art
Yeah,
that you do,
man.
man.
Thank you. I just try and put truth to paper and sing
Yeah,
it real good.
yeah. So what's
That's the best
what's the
excuse.
future like for you, bro? Like, I mean, do you have any goals for yourself? Do you have any visions? You know, or you just kind of like I'm taking one day at a time and I'm gonna go wherever this journey lands you? I mean, what's your
I
plan?
want to be able to book enough gigs that I can go on tour across the country, and at that point, I won't have to have a day job, so to speak.
Right.
Um, I'll probably still end up doing work for Wounded Warrior Project. I love this organization. I love them. They've been such a giant part of my life, and I've seen a lot of the great work that they do. So I'm on board. So, but yeah, the personal goal is to be able to book enough gigs that I can just do that for a living to be able to support myself and my family, and then the goal for that is to be able to. I mean, fuck, sky's the limit. Eventually, I want to be able to sell out arenas, baby. You know what I mean?
Hell yeah.
I want to be on that Morgan Wallen train.
Hey, bro, I'm gonna tell you, you're gonna be there, bro. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
just stay away
I
from
see
your
it. You
songs.
just stay with it. Stay with it, bro. You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
everybody go out there, listen to his songs, like it, share it. It doesn't
share
cost a
with your
thing to go
friends.
listen to a lot of these songs on Spotify and wherever they are at, dude. Just
Let's get me more
download it.
followers on TikTok. I want 1,000 so that I can start streaming.
Yeah. Oh,
So I can
hey,
go live
dude.
on
I'm
TikTok.
not sure if I'm following you over there, but I'll for sure do that and make sure we get you where you need to be. So yeah, because a lot of people go out there and they make their little tips and stuff right off of TikTok, bro. So
Yeah, baby. I'm just
I,
looking to get in there. I'm trying to grow my audience. That's it. I'm
all
just
right, well
trying to
let's get Sal Gonzalez to 1,000 on TikTok so he can start going live and we can start seeing all this more in person stuff, man. Because you're a fun guy to talk to in general, man. You just got a good head on your shoulders. I mean, for all the shit you've been through, your story could be totally different. But man, you're definitely one out there making lemonade out of your lemons. You know what I mean? So, and I appreciate that. But like before we head off and stuff, let's talk a little bit more about Wounded Warrior Project and talk about kind of what you're doing for them and give them a little bit of a plug.
so I came home from a USO tour and I had no money in my bank account. I called my boss and my boss was like, in the last few weeks that you've been gone, we were acquired by a different company and they got rid of your position. So you're effectively terminated. I'm sorry. And they were able to give me a little bit of money as severance or whatever, but um, I was jobless, and so I walked into the Wounded Warrior Project office in Nashville. I'd made friends with a dude who worked there. His name was Adam. He still actually works for the organization. Name's anyway, not important. Adam, my homeboy Adam.
Right.
Uh, he called. He goes, yeah, man, come in. Well, I'll hook you up with my friend Tiffany, who does Warriors to Work, which is one of the programs. And she sat me down and was like, okay, what skills do you have? And I was like, I kill people real good and I play music real good. And she goes, okay,
Whoa.
one of those is a marketable skill. The other, unless you want to be a police officer or something of the sort, is probably not the best thing to put on a resume. I was like, okay, cool, 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 cool. So all the marksmanship stuff with machine guns and like fastest assembly, blindfolded, top marksman with a Mark 19. None of that applies. She's like, no, none of that. I was like, awesome, awesome. Okay, so I play music real good, and I've worked in restaurants my whole life. And she goes, okay. And as she was looking for something, she came across this position at Wounded Warrior Project at the organization for a spokesperson. And she's like, well, you play music in front of people. Could you tell your story in front of people? And I said, yeah, I could do that. And so out of like 400 applicants, I got chosen. Me, and
Wow.
it was
That's
10 of
amazing.
us total, me and 9 others. And I'm the last OG left of that crew. I still have a team of 10, but I'm the last
Of the OG 10.
of the OG 10. Yeah, we have two lovely ladies who have been there longer than I have, but they are both mothers. One of them is a Blue Star mother whose son was really traumatically injured. Shane lost both of his legs above the knee, real
Mm.
bad traumatic brain injury, real bad. Um, and they thought that she was going to have to take care of him for the rest of his life, but slowly but surely through her constant love and therapy. And then there's the independence program at Wounded Warrior Project. They like provide money for him to do stuff outside of the house away from his caretaker so that the caretaker kind of has a break, but the warrior can still go off and have professional real assistance. um, and through that independence program, he ended up like meeting a girl at a Wounded Warrior Project event and fell in love. They got married. He lives across the country, has a kid. He's totally independent. His mom is living in Ohio and she works for us now. And she goes around talking about what this organization did for her and the family. And she's done some lobbying in Congress on behalf of caretakers. Um, and then the other lady that's been there longer than me is a lady named Mary Toulouse, and she's a Gold Star mother. She lost her
Mm.
son to improvised explosive device, and he was he clung to life for about a year or more or longer. I'm not 100% sure exactly how long, but and she talks about that experience and how Wounded Warrior Project was there for him until he passed. So, but other than those two ladies, it's me, and they're both retirees. Yeah, it can be a tough gig talking about the worst day of your life.
I'm sure. Yeah,
and
man.
not a lot of people.
Constantly having to relive it.
Yeah, and then on top of that, you travel a bunch. I travel the country.
Mm,
I'm in Dallas this week. I'll be in DC next week. I'll be in Florida the week after that. Like I'm just constantly on the road, and that's the life I've lived my whole life as a musician. That's what we do. We go out on the weekend and we're gone. We're away from the house. So like traveling a lot is kind of baked into my life as it is. So it's like the perfect thing for me to do. And I get to help this great organization help my brothers and sisters, and
now,
just by raising awareness and talking about it and talking about what they did for me and my friends and all the cool stuff that I get to do now.
now, do you feel like it's helped you, bro? Like in terms of with your mental health and everything as well, or
Yeah, man. Like look, you can't lead a horse to water unless it's ready to drink.
sure, 100%. Yep, can
Right?
agree with you
You're
more, bro.
not gonna
Mhm.
get drunk sober until they're
If they
ready to
don't
get
want to,
sober.
yep, yep.
You're not gonna get a drug addict clean unless they're ready to get
They
clean.
got, yep,
And that's the same thing with mental health. You're not going to
sure,
get the warrior in therapy until they're ready to go to therapy.
right.
But being in that, working for this organization where everybody's real on top of their mental stuff, they're really, they talk about it. They're like, hey, if you're going through something, talk about it. Go get help. Do that. There's resources provided for us to all, and to employees that are warriors, even more so. They preach it to us constantly. So again, through slow poking and prodding and here and there, I found a therapist that I was comfortable with, started talking to him. Slowly but surely I got better. All of a sudden i'm 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 eating right, I'm doing better, I'm down 110 pounds, and I'm
That's outstanding.
living my best life. And it's all through the love of this organization, and the fostering of this organization. And I don't want to say it like it's just Wounded Warrior Project, because yes, they've been a giant part of my recovery for the last 10 years that I've been working for them. But before that, it was not only them, it was Semper Fi Fund, it was um Catch a Lift, it was there's I could name a half dozen other nonprofits that are great with veterans. And go check out the ones I just mentioned. Creative Vets is also great. If we were talking about writing music and doing things creatively as a veteran, go to Creative Vets. They do awesome stuff. You can Guitars for Vets, which I'm starting to do some work with
Yeah,
again.
yeah.
uh
Always
you
great.
can, you
Love
can
them.
get a guitar, you can learn to play guitar, you can learn to write songs. They'll bring you to Nashville and get you with some of the best songwriters in town to like write your story and write your song.
Know
Guitars for
that.
Vets
Yeah.
is, and so yeah, it takes a village, and Wounded Warrior Project just happens to be the where I landed. But yeah, it's been a
That's
long
great.
road of recovery, and this organization really has helped me a lot, and they've been there for me from the start. And I love them, man. Like I said, even when I'm, let's say that song hits and I make $1 billion, and I'm the next what's that Navy kid, the something in the orange, dun 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 dun, something in the orange tells me we're not done. Why am I Zach Bryan, I think is his name. Anyway,
Yeah, yeah.
he got famous on TikTok and left the Navy and is just like a country artist now. He's touring and stuff. Let's say that happens to me, I'll do that, and then I'll probably still do events for Wounded Warrior Project. I'll still come and talk on behalf of the organization, like totally for free, because this,
That's how
again,
much you believe in them.
I believe in the organization. It's a great organization.
That's great. Hell yeah, man. Well,
And
hey,
they
brother.
donate to some of those organizations that I mentioned earlier. Like they
Yeah,
also give money to other organizations. They give grants and stuff. It's one of the few organizations that I know that doesn't keep any money in the coffers, right? Like if you look at other organizations, they have some money for a rainy day. And with the Warrior Project, we just spend it on the Warriors. With what do Warriors want? What is in best service of our Warriors? And
wow,
that's where the money gets spent. So
man, I
that's why I
love it.
like it. That's why. So and yeah, it's just a great organization.
That's outstanding. Well, hey, brother, bro, I appreciate you coming on, talking about all the things you talked about, sharing your experiences, man. It's not always easy to come on and talk about that kind of stuff. But you know what, man? It does the body good. It does good for others as well. And lets people know, hey, man, it's okay to talk about stuff, right?
Yeah, the funny thing that you don't realize is that the more you talk about your own stuff, the easier it gets to talk about, and the easier it gets to talk about, the more you realize that it held power over you.
Yep.
Then you're like, oh, the less and less power it holds over you, the less and less it's always going to be a significant part of your life, but it just stops being such a sticking point.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like
Yep.
before, I would think about getting injured, and I'd just be kind of fucked up for an hour or two. You know what I mean? Or fucked up for a day, or would just angry or thinking whatever. I'd have overcome with emotions, and now I talk about it all the time. I think about getting blown up. The day I got blown up, almost daily. It's not. It doesn't mess with my day at all anymore. It holds zero power over me anymore.
Love it.
And if I can leave you with anything, and your audience with anything, if you're going through some shit, find you a confidant, whether that's a therapist or not. Find you somebody that you can talk to about something, and talk to them, and just talk to them. Get it
I
off your
love it.
chest.
Yep.
You'd be surprised what that would do. And if you're thinking about ending your misery, just know that the world's better off with you in it than with you not. And I don't want to say it's selfish, because I get it, you're hurting. But just know that when you go, there's a lot of people that love you that are gonna be hurting, and people you don't even realize.
Yep.
So uh, try and smile more, try and love more. Reach out to the people you care about, and just let them know you love them. Just say, "Hey, I love you, dude," and that's it. And if they call you gay,
Absolutely.
say, "Yes, I'm gay. Love you. Gay. Yes,
A
homo,"
hundred-
and then grab their butt.
Yes. 100%, man. I could agree with you more.
You know
But
what I mean? Like, just
yeah,
show people you love them, because we need them around. We need you around.
absolutely. All right, brother. Well, hey, man, once again, I appreciate you. If you could just hold tight real quick, I'll be right back there with you. But once again, man, thank you so much. And you're an amazing dude. And I can't wait to see what the world's got for you. But all right, brother.
No, brother. Thank you for having me. Thanks for listening.
Oh, yeah, brother. Sipper Fire. All right, friends and fam. Well, that's going to wrap it up for another great episode. Hey, guys, we got the website finally up and running. It's EDASUSMCvet.com. You can check out all the episodes. I've uploaded all the episodes from season 1 and season 2. So it's a little easier to catch the actual episodes there, the way it's formatted. I also have veteran-owned businesses in there and nonprofits. Go check out the web page when you get a chance. Also, if you guys need to talk to someone, there's always myself you can reach out to. You can email me, no problem. Every day is a Saturday, 365 at yahoo.com. Or also, don't forget, there's a crisis lifeline for veterans, 988. You press 1. All right. You don't have to talk to anybody. Or I mean, you don't have to give them your name, is what I'm trying to say. So there's always that, or there's always us. But make sure you guys are out there kicking the day's ass. Don't let it kick yours ass. Until next time, we'll see you guys.